Who should fight for the vacant light heavyweight belt next? News broke in this last 24 hours that Jamal Hill is no longer able to fight for the light heavyweight title. It was supposed to be him versus Yuri Prohaska, but unfortunately he got injured, so he will no longer be fighting. And there's a lot of people, some people think that it should be Alex versus Jan for the belt. Some people think Ankalaev versus Yuri. Some people think we just wait for Jamal Hill to come back. Some people think we just do Yuri versus another contender. Well, this is the step-by-step plan, which for me makes the most sense. First of all, step one, we wait until UFC 291 for Pereira versus Blachowicz, and the winner gets a title shot against Yuri Prohaska. Yuri Prohaska was the champion, just like Jamal Hill. He had to vacate it, so he should immediately get a title shot, and the loser should face Johnny Walker. Johnny Walker's been picking up a bit of a win streak. I believe his most recent win was against Paul Craig. Also got wins over Ian Cutelaba, a couple others as well. Jamal Hill did manage to knock out Paul Craig, but Jamal Hill's nowhere to be seen anymore, so he's been injured. So the loser of this fight should face Walker. I don't think Walker deserves a title shot yet. I mean, you got to realise before this little winning streak he had, he was losing a lot of fights. Neither of them, in my opinion, decide to fight for the belt currently. Jan Blachowicz hasn't won a fight since 2021, and then I'm not going to count the Alexander Rakic fight where Alexander Rakic got injured. He lost a Glover fight, and he also drew. Technically shouldn't have won that fight against Ankalaev either. I'm not a hater of Blachowicz, it's just, I don't think he deserves a title shot. Same for Pereira. He literally just got knocked out cold at middleweight by Adesanya in the second round. He doesn't deserve a title shot just yet. So I'm going to say no. Neither of these guys deserve a title shot at UFC 291. And Ankalaev doesn't deserve a title shot either, because first of all, who wants to see Ankalaev versus Prohaska when we can see Prohaska versus Blachowicz or Pereira? And Ankalaev didn't even beat Blachowicz either. He drew, so he didn't win that. So I think, yeah, that's what we do. We do UFC 291 Pereira versus Blachowicz. Winner faces Yuri. Either way, that's a huge fight for Yuri. If we see Yuri versus Pereira, that's possibly the biggest light heavyweight fight we can make right now. Yuri versus Blachowicz is probably the second best fight we can make outside of Yuri. Yuri's just such a fun fighter, man. But he definitely deserves a title shot. This one should be the number one contender fight to determine who fights for the belt next, whether it's Blachowicz or Pereira. Winner of this fight wins. Ankalaev, though. Ankalaev should fight Nikita Krylov too. Ankalaev's been winning, just come off a draw though. Nikita Krylov is on a 3-fight winning streak, I believe, beating people like Volkan Oezdemir, just beat Ryan Spann at UFC. Well, it was Marab versus Jan, I think it was. But Nikita Krylov's picking up a bit of wins. He's now in the top 5. There's not really much contenders. Alexander Rakic is injured. Jamal Hill's injured. Yuri's waiting for a title shot. Pereira and Blachowicz are taken up. Anthony Smith, no one wants to see that. Let's do Nikita Krylov versus Ankalaev 2. Nikita Krylov deserves a kind of a big fight, and he can avenge his loss. If Ankalaev beats Krylov, then the winner of this fight should get the next title shot against either Alex, Yuri Prohaska, or Jan Blachowicz, whoever has the belt, unless Adesanya moves up for the trilogy against Alex Pereira. Alex Pereira versus Adesanya the trilogy would be so big at light heavyweight. If Adesanya was to fight for the light heavyweight belt in a trilogy against Alex Pereira, that would be such a big fight. And I'm kind of glad it's gone this way instead of just an immediate trilogy, because then when the trilogy's over, it's done. We'll never see them again. But I kind of like this build-up. That is if Pereira beats Blachowicz and then goes and beats Yuri Prohaska. That's assuming that Adesanya manages to beat Dricus du Plessis. But if all stars are aligned, then I would not mind seeing Adesanya move up for the trilogy against Alex, like I said, assuming Alex is champ. If Alex isn't champ, and the champ is either Jan Blachowicz or Yuri Prohaska, then I think they should do Ankalaev versus Krylov too, because I know Ankalaev's boring, but he does deserve a title shot. I believe, wasn't his last loss like Paul Craig, like 2018? I think Ankalaev deserves a title shot. Let's book him against Nikita Krylov the second time, and if he wins that, then let's give him an immediate title shot against either Alex, Yuri or Jan. Now, when Jamal Hill's back, he should get an immediate title shot. Just like Yuri Prohaska, he vacated the belt. He didn't lose the belt, so technically he's still champion, but he's not because he vacated it. So he should get an immediate rematch when he returns to the UFC, whether that's next year, whether that's later this year. He should get an immediate title shot. Light heavyweight starting to come together now, man. We've got Pereira, we've got potentially Alex versus Adesanya. We've got Jamal Hill, who's injured, but he'll be back. Alexander Rakic is going to be returning soon. We've got Jan Blachowicz, Yuri Prohaska, Ankalaev, Nikita Krylov, Johnny Walker as well. This is what I think makes the most sense. I mean, they've booked this massive fight in Pereira versus Blachowicz, which I think should be the number one contender fight. Winner should definitely get a fight against Yuri. The loser faces Walker, whether that be Pereira versus Walker in Brazil. I don't think they're going to do another event in Brazil. Or whether that be Blachowicz versus Walker. Like I said, neither of them deserve a belt. Jan hasn't won since 2021, not counting Rakic, and Pereira just got knocked out. And Ankalaev didn't even beat Blachowicz, so he shouldn't get a title shot either. And then, like I said, book Ankalaev versus Nikita Krylov 2 for the next title shot. Winner moves up. Winner gets a title shot against Alex or Yuri or Jan, unless Adesanya moves up for the big trilogy. And then Jamal Hill. I think this works out really well because everyone's got fights. People are getting title shots that deserve it. We're not rushing straight into a light heavyweight title shot. It wasn't like the light heavyweight title shot was already announced. There was no announcement. I believe it will be later this year. But yeah, the winner should probably fight Yuri later this year. And then yeah, I think that's what we do. I think that's the smartest thing we can do with the light heavyweight division right now. If you agree with this, please let me know. If you have any better takes, please let me know. But personally, I think this is the best thing that we can do for the light heavyweight division right now, considering that Jamal Hill's just been injured. But yeah, please let me know if you agree or not.